It's Under the Lights on the CW. Brought to you by Dairy Queen, Alta Federal Credit Union, Heat 9 Associates, Palshay Chevrolet, and Alti Sudlink.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in and joining us here Under the Lights on the CW. I'm Johnny Condon.
And I'm Tina Wynn. And Johnny, week 4 of Texas high school football. How are we feeling?
We're feeling great. We're almost a month in officially of the high school football season. It feels like it started like that. But I know the favorite thing of this week between you and I is all week we sit here and Joel, our meteorologist, is telling us, oh, it's not looking great. There might be some rain. And what did we get, Tina? We got no rain.
No rain. I will say when I was out at Gladewater for the game of the week, looked like a storm was brewing, but hey, didn't happen.
Nonetheless. But you know where there was a storm brewing tonight earlier, just because it looked like it was going to rain earlier, didn't mean that Gladewater and Pleasant Grove wasn't going to raid on their parade. So, to Gladewater we go. That's where the Bears, they would be hosting Pleasant Grove. This is a big-time matchup in Pleasant Grove. They wanted to make a statement on the road. Ben Harmon here hands it off to Bruce Garrett, and look at this young man chug. Look at him go. It's all he hears. Blinders on. He's going to get pushed out at about the 2-yard line, but no bother. Next play, Harmon hands it off to Shane Nelson. He gets the credit. The other kid did all the hard work. It's 7-0 Hawks. Moment later, DJ Allen's pass to Zadavian Campbell. Gladewater trying to get something going, but they would stall out. Harmon hands it off to Logan Johnson now, but is stopped short. Look at this. Nice job by the Bears. I love those uniforms, by the way. Later on, Harmon hands it off to Bruce as Garrett punches it in. Hawks, they go up 14-0. Gladewater getting stopped here on 4th down. Pleasant Grove, the Hawks doing it on both sides of the ball. Now Harmon, he's going to find Marcus Burris. And he is going to take that all the way. Look at the size of that lad. Into the end zone. The Hawks, this one isn't even close. Pleasant Grove takes this one by a score of 45 to zippity-doo-dah-day. Well, Tina, the John Tyler Lions, they entered tonight's game against Trinity 0-3 on the young season. You know, they were looking to win their first game of the 2019 season in front of their own crowd. And I'll tell you what right now, the Lions, they struggled this year primarily on the offensive side of the football. Their defense remains one of the strongest in all of East Texas. So, will the offense wake up in East Texas, with the East Texas State Fair in the background of Rose Stadium? Well, that is the million-dollar question. And I wasn't lying. That fair was a beautiful sight to behold tonight. John Tyler Lions desperately in need of a win. They need one bad. Too bad they'd run into the Trinity Trojans. This is a tough team. University of Texas can make Keaton Crawford. He needed to have a big night if JT wanted any shot. After a 3-and-out, John Tyler's first play from scrimmage, Cameron Ford's pass is intercepted by Trinity's John Shedd. Just been that kind of year for the Lions on offense. But on the ensuing possession, the Trojans are going to cough that bad boy up. And Trevain Yates is in the right place at the right time for the recovery. JT would move the ball before stalling on 3rd down. We don't show a lot of field goals here on the show, but not every high school kicker can hit from 40 yards. Check out the leg on Victor Leon. The senior knocks that through. He could kick in the NFL these days. John Tyler takes a 3-0 lead. It would not last, however. Early second. Quarterback Valentino Fani is going to dump this slip screen off to Ollie Gordon. He'll do the rest. The scat back is into the end zone. Poor job of tackling by the John Tyler defense. And that is a 35-yard scamper. Trojans, they take the first lead of the game. They'd go on attack on 20 more this evening, and they hand John Tyler, get this, their 4th straight loss of the season. The final here, Trinity 27, JT 10. And this one, you know, it had a big feel right out of the gates. West Monroe taking on Longview, and if West Monroe wanted a chance, they have to stop that kid right there. Haynes King, the soon-to-be Texas A&M Aggies. And the Rebel defense, well, they were up to the task early. Here, King's going to take a deep shot, and West Monroe's Rashawn Pleasant says, no, thank you, thanks, try again. Beautiful pass breakup. 2 plays later, however, King on the keeper, and he's going to fumble it. The Rebs fall on top of it and are in business, and it only takes 3 plays for West Monroe to punch it in. Clayton Pierce bangs it in from 1 yard out, and the Rebels take an early 7-0 lead. Quarterback Garrett Cosmos, very injured, but he's still loving it on the sidelines there for West Monroe. But that is where Longview would strike back. March it down the field, young fella. A beautiful throw from King to Caden Kirby, his go-to man. And let's hear that horn. We know that Longview loves to bring the horn wherever they go. And they're going to be hearing that a lot this season. We got ourselves a ball game. Rebs offense stalls and pins the Lobos back up against their goal line, but that does not matter for Caden Meredith. He's going to get loose, and every Lobo in Longview is going wild because he's going to take that to the house, and just like that, it's 14-7. Good guys. Coach Aldrich has to find a way to slow down that Lobo offense. His defense needs a stop back against their own goal line. King looking for his man overthrows him. They'd kick him to a field goal. That's what happened at half. But don't worry, Longview fans. The Lobos would prevail. They win this one by a score of 17-7.
All right, we're going to check in on Phil Castles and his Lions and check out the Henderson Lion getting some airtime tonight. All right, Henderson Lion getting that airtime in early second. Henderson up 7-0. Caleb Mefford finds Jarian Fuller. He snags the ball. But hey, called him out at the 2. Next play, they score to make it 14-0. And next, 14-0 Lions would go up. And then next possession, center quarterback Jake Hansen. And on the fumble, and Jake Hansen, and he will find some moves on that 50-yard gain right here. Touchdown for the Henderson Lions, and then next play, Lions. And he would find, nice, into the end zone. They go.
It looks sweet at least. Those uniforms are gorgeous. And I'll tell you right now, Henderson, they got one of the better defenses in football this year, and they proved it why all night long. Later on, let's check out the quarterback for Henderson. Look at him go. He is absolutely slicing and dicing his way into the end zone, and that would be the final score. Look at this one. Henderson, they lay the wood by a score of 63-7. Tina, what's going on in Pittsburgh?
All right, let's see what they're up to as they take on the Van Vandals tonight. First drive of the game, Pittsburgh quarterback JAMARION McCain sacked by Van DB Jose Bella, and then moments later, Pitt Sam Toller says it's his turn in the backfield for the sack. And on the next play, Jayden Moffitt finds the middle of the end zone to Hunter Hutchins. Van goes up 7-0, but it's once again Sac City and Van, Texas. That's Pittsburgh's Braylon Johnson for the loss, and then the longest play of the half. Moffitt finds Devontae Thomas, and he takes this one 50 yards to Pittsburgh territory. Van looking to score, but from his blind side linebacker, Sam Toller, again, too quick for the left tackle, his second sack of the half. Van goes on to win this one 7-0.
Yeah, thanks, Tina. Our next game takes us to Chapel Hill as the 1-2 Bulldogs hosted Scott Calloway and the Bulldog Panthers, but these programs have a renewed sense of confidence after ending the 2019 season, and after both these teams dropped 2 of their first 3 games tonight, tonight's showdown at Bulldog Stadium had a little more importance than normal.
Hey there, Johnny and Tina. The Chapel Hill Bulldogs only managed 7 points against Argyle last week, so I guess this week they decided to add on a couple extra touchdowns. What looked like it was going to be a close game through most of 2 quarters ended in a major Chapel Hill victory. The Bulldogs were without injured running back Kalen Griffin, but receiver Keegan Thompson caught 3 touchdowns in his first game back from broken pinky injury while wearing a cast on his left hand.
It was nice having Keegan back. He broke his hand in the second week of 2 days. Missed the scrimmages, missed the first 3 games, and was just hungry. He still played with a cast, and it's pretty impressive to go out here and play like he did with a cast on his arm.
Chapel Hill head coach Jeff Reardon told me that there is no timetable for Kalen Griffin's return right now, but it is a possibility that they get him back this season. Either way, they showed that they can get it done. In Chapel Hill, Tim Wolf, CBS 19.
All right, and don't go anywhere because we are just getting things started here on Under the Lights, and we'll have much more East Texas High School football action right here after the break.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Well, you have a dream when you were a kid. Mine personally, I wanted to attend the University of Notre Dame and play quarterback for the Fighting Irish. Wasn't smart enough and talented enough to do that for a dream, but you know, somebody that does have a dream is Tyler Lee running back JAMARION Miller, and he's our Week 4 East Texas Professional Credit Union Player of the Week. So JAMARION Miller, congratulations. You're our Week 3 East Texas Professional Credit Union Player of the Week. Thanks so much for coming out here. Let's start with your game last week against Nacogdoches. I mean, absolutely, 16 carries, 232 yards. You're still running. You're able to get into the end zone. So tell me, when you're getting in a rhythm like that and you're running behind your line, what you thinking when you get the ball? What's your vision like?
First thing I'm thinking about is try to at least get to the end zone. That's my main thing, trying to get to is the end zone.
Talk about your offensive line, some of these guys that block for you. You got some big cats down there. I know they're not very old. You got some younger offensive linemen, but they got some girth to them. What's it like running behind some of these big boys?
I love my linemen. Like where I am now, I want to be where I am like today, where I'm at. So I really appreciate the linemen for them blocking for me, getting the holes open and everything.
Talk about some of your training regimens outside of the season, because obviously Tyler Lee, of course, we keep talking about, not crazy expectations, and you guys are shutting up a lot of people. You got a lot of folks like me and Fox and over at NBC and ABC that we go, okay, we're taking notice. Tyler Lee, they're worth watching. They're a fantastic football team. What went into that this offseason from a training standpoint? What did you do specifically to prepare you for 2019?
I work hard. I kept my mind straight, kept pushing. When things come tough, I just kept working hard, kept pushing myself, keep pushing myself to the next level.
Let's talk a little bit about the Rose City rivalry. Of course, you guys and John Tyler, that's a rivalry that spans decades and decades. John Tyler's had your number the last couple seasons, and all of a sudden you show up in Rose Stadium and you gave him a spanking. I mean, 34-7. That was a bad one a couple nights ago. Kind of reasserting yourself in the city. At least you guys have bragging rights. What does that rivalry mean to you specifically?
Well, it means a lot of things. Since I went to Lee, I always been wanting to beat JT. Since JT, always been beating Lee, so that's really my main thing.
So growing up here in Tyler, was there one player in particular that you watched and said, I want to be like him one day?
My brother. Since he got so much offers, I always want to grow up and get as much offers as he got and make it to college.
Playing college football is one of your aspirations?
Yes, sir.
Any schools so far that stick out that's been coming to say hello?
Texas, Longhorn. That's really about it.
Texas Longhorn.
Yes.
What would it mean one day to play for a team like Texas?
It would mean a lot. I think I succeed, reaching my goal and everything, because that's my mainly goal is to play at Texas.
Absolutely. You're going to throw up the hook 'em? Look at the camera. There we go. One day he's going to be playing for Coach Herman. Well, it feels like you're going to the next level for sure. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Congratulations. Player of the Week. Congratulations.
That was awesome, Johnny. Good job. And first off, it's clear that he's had such a success in Tyler Lee's run game this season, but when you were talking to him, what stood out to you most about him?
Not even from a football player. He's a fantastic young man. He's class of 2022, so I mean, he's got a couple more years of high school. You know where he's going tomorrow, right?
I can't say it, but you can.
He's going down to Austin. He's got a visit with the University of Texas as they're set to take on Oklahoma State. An impressive young man, and if you don't believe me, wait later on the show, not this show, but down the road, the entire Tyler Lee highlight might be filled with that young lad. He's a fantastic football player, and that's why he was our East Texas Professional Union Player of the Week. So, we're not done here. We're keeping rolling along. North Lamar Panthers taking on the Jefferson Bulldogs. They are jumping at the bit to start the second half. They lead 21-7. Now, Jefferson's D Black. He's going to get the handoff here, and he's going to go on a great run, breaking tackles and picking up a first down. That's determination, folks. Later on, quarterback Kalen Thomas passes to Christian Shepard. That's a nice little slant. This play starts with a pass to D Black, who pitches it. Watch this. Look at that muddy, mucky field. Don't you love it? Look at that pitch back to Kalen Thomas. He picks up the first down. A little trickery before going out of bounds. And if we look at the end of this one was also a little bit of a blowout. North Lamar, they lay the wood. They beat Jefferson by a score of 35-7.
All right, let's keep this highlight train rolling and check in on Grace Community in Wills Point. Grace up 14-3 in the second, 3rd and 6. Price Williams to Luke Smith as he fumbles it right here, and the Tigers will recover that. Then 2:22 left in the second. Cougars still up 14-10. First down, and Williams will hand it off to JAMARION Milton. And oh hey, did you see that stiff arm action, Johnny, before he's taken out for the big gain? And that would set Grace up for this. Smith
nice
looking right, and he will launch this one to Peyton Williams. Cougars would go up and go into the second half with the 21-10 lead, and Grace would win this with a final score of 42-17. All right, we're going to check in on Brady McCoy and his Crusaders. Both teams looking to get in the win column tonight. Scoreless with only 2 minutes left in the first, lined up on their 30. Anthony Smith in some trouble as he fumbles the ball. Redwater with the recover, and hey, moments later, Redwater, they would fumble the snap, and Gorman with the recovery. Now Gorman trying to get something going as Smith with the handoff to Benjamin McKnight. Both teams struggled to get on the scoreboard tonight, and the Crusaders would go into the half trailing 22-18, and the final for this would be Redwater 22-18. Oh, excuse me, we're still waiting for this final score, so we will update that to you when we have it.
And don't you go anywhere, because we're going to be right back. We're going to have much more East Texas high school football in store. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Under the Lights. I'm Tina Nguyen. Well, when we endure hardships in life, it's often up to us and how we respond to it. And that was the case for Alto, Texas, when tragedy struck the town of over 1,200 people not too long ago. In our Week 5 WHATABURGER Coach of the Week, Ricky Meeks shared what the game of football means to a city that's overcoming adversity.
It was definitely a little surreal. I mean, I had never been a part of anything like that. I had never been in a storm of that magnitude. And then
we're all bound to come face to face with adversity at some point in our lives. What often matters most is how we respond. 2 tornadoes struck Alto, Texas on April 13, 2019, 90 minutes apart. The impact was felt instantly in a town of over 1,200 people.
I mean, we had trees down and we were able to get all that cleaned up and through the help of everybody that offered their help. One day, Stephen F. Austin loads up a couple charter buses and brings over their football and basketball athletes, and I mean, they're out there with chainsaws with the coaches and cleaning and helping us get it cleaned up.
In difficulty, we often set our sights on something to keep us moving forward. For the Yellow Jackets, it's the game of football.
For the school year to roll back around and for football to start, it definitely has given our community something to come together and rally around, and that's been pretty neat to watch and be a part of. So it's kind of given us some normalcy back.
The 2019 football season provides the Alto Yellow Jackets a unique opportunity. It's more than the final score. It's a chance to heal.
The big thing there, is probably this isn't going to be the last tough thing you go through. And so how we respond is ultimately going to be the memory we have of it. And so we're going to respond in a positive way.
For WHATABURGER Coach of the Week, I'm Tina Nguyen.
All right, Johnny, want to know a fun fact?
What's that?
Ricky Meeks comes from a coaching family, and his dad, Dickie Meeks, is a longtime East Texas high school football legend. Yes, coach for 42 years and was a head coach for 37 years.
And he might have the best name of any coach here in East Texas, Dickie Meeks. Absolutely.
And also, a quick thing to know, their high school football game is canceled due to the weather. So.
And speaking of that weather, teams that play on grass fields such as Alto, they face more issues than just a wet playing surface. A game on soaking wet grass can leave the field in poor conditions for months after it's been torn up by the action of a football game. TK Gorman did use the grass field tonight. Harleton moved their matchup last week up with Union Grove. That game was moved to Hallsville. So let's keep the train rolling. Kilgore down 14-0 at half. So we start in the third quarter taking on Texas High. And here's Ryan Sellers. Pass to Caden Miller. He's going to get the first down plus 15 more yards due to that unnecessary roughness, personal foul. Little laundry out in the field. Calls his own number now. Sellers gets dragged out of bounds as Texas High has to settle for a 30-yard field goal. Oscar Hernandez to go up 17-0. Oh, here's the field goal I was telling you about just a moment ago. It's a nice 30-yard field goal. Again, in the NFL, those aren't even chip shots anymore. Hernandez, beautiful throw. And there he goes. Look at him breaking tackles before he's finally wrestled down. Kilgore, they got some of the sweetest jerseys in all of high school football. Uh-oh, we got a loose yardage here. Michaelia is going to hand it off to Brian Bowden. Tigers, they end up taking this one, however, by a score of 30-14.
All right, we check in on Carthage tonight as they take on Gilmer. They start them young out in Carthage, and fans having a good time. And then Cowboys' Nate Newton on hand tonight as Bulldogs' Calvante Dixon. Tough to bring down right here. Whew.
That's
there
why he's
we
going
go.
to Arkansas
Moments
next year.
later, Kai Horton finds Craig McNew for the Bulldog touchdown. Into the end zone he goes. Carthage goes up 7-0. And then a big, nice scoreboard shot. All right, then a big run up the gut from Mason Courtney right here. Whew, tough to take down, but that would set up a field goal, and Carthage goes up early 10-0. They would take this with a final score of 24-15. All right, on to Spring Hill, where the 1 and 2 Panthers taking on Russ Eagles. Springback quarterback Gage White under center. He drops back and finds junior receiver Tyrese Jones for the 20-yard gain and a first down for the Panthers. And then moments later, senior quarterback Jalen Hall with the snap. He's going to keep it for Rusk and is met by a pack of Panthers right here before finally being brought down by Spring Hill's Casey Mudu. Spring Hill's Gage White gets the snap and dishes it out to the running back Michael Mars, who bulls his way up the field for the 25-yard gain. And then White, again with the snap, he will drop back and check this out. He will air it out to senior Zach Henry for the 51-yard touchdown. And after the 2-point conversion,
Wow.
Spring Hill would lead 8-0. And they would take this with a final score of 34-6.
And speaking of those Spring Hill Panthers, right now, at this very moment, you can watch the next installment of our CBS 19 original docu-series, Pride, All Hail Spring Hill, brought to you by East Texas Professional Credit Union and John Fraser Allstate. This week's episode is currently up on both our website at cbs19.tv and the CBS 19 YouTube page.
All right, let's check in on the action tonight with Queen City, New Diana. New Diana's Kiki Nelson under center. He gets a snap and is going to take it 5 yards for the Eagle. Touchdown. Nice. And then Queen City with the ball. Quarterback Dylan Scott with the snap, and he's going to try and hit wide receiver Taylon Boone, but he is picked off by Diana's Malish Windshield, who is brought down by Queen City's DeMar Rochot. And then New Diana's Gage Seals with the snap, and he throws it to Darian Maines for the Eagles' second score of the night. And then Queen City Dylan Scott lined up under center. He fumbles the snap.
He would after that touchdown. That was a thing of beauty.
Take this one to the end zone right here.
And I'll tell you, again, we keep looking at some of the best uniform games between these teams. I love the simplicities of the white helmet. Now,
right here, Dylan Scott under center. He will fumble the snap to...
No, not so much. Into the end zone. That's a beautiful touchdown.
Into the end zone again.
That's the red zone. That'd be Zaid Freeman. He rolls to the end zone for the touchdown. And I'll tell you right now, between Queen City and New Diana, every time they meet up, it's usually a close game. However, New Diana tonight, that's a bad one, Tina. That's by the score of 49-6. And after the break, we're going to take a look at some more scores from across East Texas, so don't go anywhere. You're watching Under the Lights on the CW. Hey everybody, welcome back to Under the Lights on the CW. We do a pretty good job here at CBS 19. We get our tentacles outstretched all in East Texas, trying to get as many games as possible. But Tina, we can only do so much here. We can't get every single game. But thanks to the internet, Twitter, and the World Wide Web, we can bring you the scores of some of the games. So let's start off with the Robert E. Lee Red Raiders. I know most of you have been staying up all night looking for this score, and I'm sorry to disappoint you, but they win to Mesquite Poteet, and they lose by a score of 19-14. Don't get discouraged, though, Lee. They open up district play next week. Also, Brownsboro and West. That is a good game. Why do all the great tight games we don't get to? Brownsboro, they pull this one out by a score of 34-32. Also, let's check in on Palestine. They're putting up some points this year out at Fairfield. They win this one by a score of 56-35 in Elysian Fields. One of my favorite names to say because I don't think we got Cayuga in there this week. So, nonetheless, Elysian Fields, another 63 burger. They beat Ore City by a score of 63-34.
All right, we're going to continue the scoreboard train with Redwater and Bishop TK Gorman with a final score of 52-32 Gorman. And then Maybank and the Canton Eagles. Maybank would take this one 42-21. And then up next, Tatum and Hugh Springs. Hugh Springs, 50-13 final. And then Liberty Ewing and Atlanta. The home team taking this one 41-30. That's a close one.
It's good. I picked them in the paper this week. I'm glad they won. Sabine and Elkhart. Look at, oh my goodness, Rex Sharp's team. He's one of our candidates for our CBS 19 WHATABURGER Coach of the Week. You can, of course, vote online at cbs19.tv if you want Coach Sharp to win because he did a pretty darn good job tonight. They beat Elkhart by a score of 35-12. And Mineola and Big Sandy, Big Sandy, they're in big trouble because they lost to Mineola by a score of 36-9. Let's keep it rolling here on these final scores. West Rusk in Westwood, 62. We keep seeing a ton of points coming up. The Blue Raiders, bad one. That is a 62-36 final. White Oak and Rains. White Oak, they drop another one. Rains gets this one 32-29. Winsboro, Mount Vernon, let's keep it going. Coach Art Riles, he's doing something right at the high school level. They win by a score of 47-28. And Hawkins, they took on Lindale Kildare. And Lindale Kildare, they win by a score of 22-20. And as we welcome you back here to our final minute or so on the program, Tina, what takeaways did you have from week 4 tonight?
First off, I'm shocked that John Tyler's 0-4. I mean, that was a team that I really thought they were going to...
In their defense, I mean, they've had a nightmare schedule, but nonetheless, with all the talent that team has, the fact that they're 0-4 this part of the year, and again, defensively, and I've been to a good majority of the JT games this year, defensively, they're as strong as any team in East Texas. It's the offense. They have to get it going. They can't decide if they want Cam Ford or Isaiah Johnson, a quarterback. Tonight it was Ford, but nonetheless, whoever it is, it's the same exact result. They have issues moving the ball down the field, and if I was playing defense for the John Tyler Lions, I'd be a tad upset.
So, got to get things going on offense. the end of the story for that. Okay, now what about the Tyler Lee Red Raiders? I know we saw their first
They
loss of the
lost
season.
tonight, but I'll tell you right now,
Right.
from everything we've seen over that program, Kurt Traylor, they got those guys in the right mindset, and they're doing pretty great. But nonetheless, we hope you're doing pretty great, and I hope you join us next week right here on Under the Lights on the CW. She's Tina Wynn. I'm Johnny Condon. Have a great night, guys.